The effort of Christianizing yoga normalizes yoga, which makes Christians think the Eastern spiritual elements are good. As a result, they are no longer on guard against these and the things with which they are associated. Former occultists and practitioners of yoga experienced this themselves and warn about this danger. John said that yoga is a practice that prompts you to unwind yourself and to see yourself not so much as an individual, but as a part of the whole. Everything is connected is a basic perspective in yoga, and this, he said, is important to take note of. It is echoed throughout the occult and pagan religions. Therese added, "A danger of yoga is that the openness it forms within you makes you primed to hear and to listen to this same message coming from occult groups who use the same language." End quote. Yoga weaves this language, these principles and perspectives, into the mind of the practitioner, even if the yoga appears to be a non-religious type. At that point, the individual is more open and disposed to hearing these same things from other cultures that are not Christian, developing an attitude of acceptance toward foreign religious concepts. One consequence of this, she said, is to adopt the belief that, quote, "we are all connected, so there is only different, but not right and wrong," end quote, a common and pervasive form of religious indifference plaguing Christians today. When these connections are understood, it becomes clear that today's yoga is introducing people to things that the occult in general embraces in its various systems, such as energy centers, chakras, and key finger positions for meditation. Conditioned by this, if a practitioner of yoga sees a New Age group pop up which presents the same external mannerisms, they will become very curious, especially if their form of yoga has convinced them that they are on a spiritual journey for which Eastern meditation provides the best support. One of the problems is that some of the externals in yoga, and those same externals in certain New Age groups, are not discussing the same spiritual realities. While both are oriented toward a spiritual framework incompatible with Christianity, the neo-pagans and the New Agers who embrace yoga for personal benefits will be led into the more dangerous practices of the occult by this overlap of language and external practices. Therese warned, quote, "Neo-pagans who simply dabble with yoga will go into Wicca and the occult. Yoga is a gateway drug." End quote. Example: yoga leads to occult off the mat. The best and most well-respected guide for modern yoga is the group called Yoga Journal, according to Frank. As internet traffic statistics reveal, this is the most popular online guide to yoga for Americans, even though most Americans are not Hindu. However, Yoga Journal serves as a reference point for lots of women and men who are now post-Christian spiritual seekers, which, one could reason, is a very high number. The dangers are many, but one article makes several points very clear. This article also demonstrates the realities warned about above. From Yoga Journal, the same group that published an article encouraging its followers to actually call on Kali, comes this article from October of 2008 titled, quote, "How to be Fierce," end quote, in which the author told a story of when she advised another woman, whom she called Annie, to, quote, "find your Kali side," end quote. The author stated that Annie, like many, often focused only on the stress-reducing aspects of yoga, and was unaware that, quote, "as you go deeper into your yoga practice, it will ask you at some point to confront those parts of yourself that may be suppressed," end quote. Enter Kali. Who is Kali, though? According to the author, in art she's, quote, "the one with wild hair, the bare breasts, and the severed heads around her neck. She's usually described as the goddess of destruction, and she looks scary, even though her face and body are beautiful," end quote. As if there were any doubt, the article clarified, quote, "as an archetype of divine femininity, Kali is miles away from the image of Mary, the sweet intercessor," end quote. Revealingly, the author stated, quote, "what Annie was about to discover is that yoga can bestow gifts that are often obscured by our efforts to be good, like bringing forth repressed passion and purifying it into energy or accessing sublimated anger and wisdom that, when owned and channeled, can renew the body and lead to more skillful actions," end quote. Take note of the key occultic terms used in her description. After accepting the invitation to call on Kali, quote, "Annie felt that Kali helped her hold strong," end quote, in resolving the difficult situations which prompted their initial conversation. The author of the article, when she was dealing with a health issue, said that she decided, quote, to start a process of dialogue with what I saw as my own suppressed Kali energy, end quote. To do so, she embraced a form of occult channeling known as automatic writing, though, of course, she did not give it that label. With her dominant right hand, she wrote, quote, I would like to speak to Kali, end quote. And then with her left hand, she held the pen and began to write. It was no mere writing, for, she said, quote, I felt a leaping in my heart and saw these words flowing through my pen. I am angry. I am power, end quote. She then asked, with the pen in her right hand, quote, what do you want, end quote. To which she received the left-hand response, quote, I want out, to be free, to be wild, to be in control, end quote. She described the process in these terms, quote, I could feel myself swinging from wild exhilaration to resentment and back again, but always with a feeling of mounting energy and excitement, end quote. This article demonstrated many aspects of the danger of yoga. Annie, who simply practiced yoga for the reduction of stress, but was likely open to different religious ideas, was being instructed, likely unknown to her, by someone who summons the demon Kali as part of her spiritual walk. Further, this instructor believed that yoga will eventually demand more from you than simply the external exercises. Once this instructor was able to offer direct advice to Annie, Annie summoned the demon as well, and experienced tangible assistance from this spiritual and yogic force.